My producer, Sophia, they try to recruit her to be a spy before she leaves the country.
Yan Ma is the director of the new feature film, The Unrestricted War, a thriller inspired by the events surrounding the outbreak of COVID-19.
What they did after that turned a crisis, a public health crisis, to a global disaster.
In this episode, he reveals some of the incredible challenges they faced to make this film.
Sometimes we showed up on the set and the owner suddenly gets scared. It's like, oh, this is gonna put me in danger.
3 days before filming, you auditioned a new lead for the film?
Yeah, that's how crazy it was, yes.
His own family members in China were threatened by the Chinese communist regime.
They cut some of my family members' income. They cut their paycheck. It's like the convenience store next to my house, and the back of the store actually turned into a secret Chinese police station. It's ironic to me.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Jan Jekielek.
Yan Ma, such a pleasure to have you on American Thought Leaders.
Thank you for having me.
You've made a really, really excellent film, but there were some moments where you were wondering to yourself that maybe this film won't be made at all. And I want to get you to tell me about them. I'm talking about the ones that are not typical to most movies.
As a Chinese-Canadian filmmaker, we kind of knew this from the very beginning of the production. There'll be many challenges and even real-life risks, because many of our team members are from China, and including myself. So my family members faced a lot of pressure from the local government, the Chinese government. And
wait a sec. Explain this to me. At what point did they experience pressure?
After I started the project, they were called to the a government office, and then when they get there, they realized they actually was led to what they call the National Security Office. So they have the officers in there tell them that everything have consequences. So basically they issued a threat to them, right? And then later they cut some of my family members' income. They cut their paycheck. So it's that's at the beginning of the project. So it's almost 2 years. It's still.
So how did they know that you were making this film just at the beginning of the project?
We don't have concrete evidence, but we know they have informants everywhere, right? That they can, whatever we do, they are closely watching, so they will know right away. And it's surprising. It's many instances I experienced before. We decided to do something, and right away next week, someone from our team, just got a notice from the national security, and they know right away. We don't even know how they learned that, because a lot of those discussions happen with a closed door. It's a closed door discussion. So yeah, but we did experience many of this kind of situation. Yeah.
Explain to me the genesis of this film, right?
This film is inspired by the pandemic, right? So I just feel like it's important to reflect on what happened, what really happened, especially at the beginning of the outbreak. So I think that we need to see how. That's why, in the film, I mainly show how the antagonists use their power to manipulate people and censor information, basically weaponize the crisis and eventually lead it to a global pandemic, right? So I just feel like it's very important to shine a light on this, because this may happen again. And next time if we have something much more deadly than COVID, I would say we may not have a second chance. So I feel it's important for us to talk about it. There are so many brilliant filmmakers in China, but they just simply don't have the freedom to do this kind of film. So for me, as a filmmaker, living in Canada, I just feel, I guess I'm just have to do it.
I understand that just a few days before you actually started production, before you started filming, you lost like the protagonist, the main character in the film. So just tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah, that was a very tough situation because yeah, so like 3 days before the shoot, our lead actors, they received a lot of pressure too from their family and friends. The lead actor got really worried because he really believed that he will get harmed by the Chinese government. And one day in the middle of the night, he got a phone call, and there's nobody speaking on the other end, and it's just really scared him. And yeah, the next day he just told us that I have to leave, I have to go back, I have to go home. Yeah, this kind of thing it's like it never happened in film industry because like the wardrobe are prepared for him, and it just it put us in a very difficult spot, right? And so we had to find a new actor and basically start over 3 days before. So this is kind of like a challenge we are facing during the production. It happens a lot, right? This kind of thing. So yeah, it's real. I mean, this fear, this effect of CCP, like in the Western world, they're real. We felt it throughout the whole production. Yeah, it's not something like we feel it's so far away. It's not far away. Sometimes we showed up on the set, and the owner suddenly gets scared. It's like, oh, I think is gonna put me in danger, and I'm not gonna rent you this set anymore. And, this kind of situation we run into all the time.
I mean, this is really astonishing. I mean, even, you're talking to someone who's quite aware of the Chinese Communist regime's influence activities in America. We cover this on the show quite often. But what you're describing just as a practical reality, right, is astonishing. And again, I mean, I think clearly your film is called The Unrestricted War. What happened to you is, in the name of the film, in the production. There's a kind of an interesting, I think the young people these days call that meta. It's kind of unbelievable in a way.
Ironically, I have, there last year or 2 years ago, they have this PlayStation, overseas PlayStation from the Chinese government established in North America. I actually got one of this, like right in my neighborhood, like 1 minute walk from my house. Like because I was watching all on the map, like from the news, they showed where all the stations, the PlayStation are, and I say, oh, one of them is actually right in front of my house. It's in the convenience store, in the back of the convenience store.
Just remind me about what these CCP overseas police stations are. What is that actually?
It's like so CCP they send out this news to all the Chinese people outside the country. They said they are establishing this PlayStations overseas, so all the Chinese citizens can go there and basically provide information. Like if they see any anyone doing anything that will harm China or doing anything that make the government look bad, you can just go to this PlayStation and report them. And they have overseas operators will help. I don't know exactly how they will help, but this is how far they reached, right, in the Chinese community. Yeah.
Again, sort of, we hear about the Chinese police stations and so forth, but you don't. It doesn't hit home when it hits home a lot more when it's 1 minute away from your home and you're making a film that's critical of the Chinese Communist Party.
Yes.
Right?
It feels unreal because it's like the convenience store next to my house, and the back of the store actually turned into a Chinese police station, a secret Chinese police station. It's ironic to me.
As you told me earlier, your relatives have been threatened. They've had their pay cut because of your work. What do you think they're trying to accomplish with that?
Well, obviously they wanted to put pressure on me. Just stop whatever I'm doing. But to me, like, I think the best way to react to this is, do even more, because you can back down. Once you back down, they know they have you. They have you in their pocket. They know that this works. It will just go worse.
Thank you for tuning in to American Thought Leaders. In a world where spin and agendas dominate the headlines, I'm proud to bring you unfiltered insights from the brightest minds in America, from a relative outsider Canadian perspective. To keep this possible and to access even more exclusive content, in-depth documentaries, in our daily digital newspaper, consider subscribing to the Epoch Times today. It's your way to support independent journalism. Just hit the link in the description below to subscribe and unlock the full American Thought Leaders experience and so much more. You can try it today for just $1 a week. So just hit the link in the description below. And now back to the interview.
And we're back with the director of the Unrestricted War, Jan Ma. If this film becomes big, and I think it really has the potential to, you've made a really powerful film here. Aren't you worried that it might have greater repercussions on your family back home?
Yes, all the time. It really is like, especially to me, I'm as Chinese, this kind of thing really can impact us a lot. But I don't think I can like walk away, and my conscience won't allow me to do that, firstly. And then secondly, if I stop because of this, then they know, oh, this works for him. They won't stop. They will just do more. I experienced many of this kind of cases from my friends. They all like experienced this before, right? There was the first time, there always a second time. They will go to your family again, and now, but this time they will say, okay, we need you to do this for us. Otherwise, your family is going to be in trouble again. So they slowly turn you to work for them. This is how, for someone that doesn't have the bottom line, they can, this is how they manipulate people. That's like, again, as Chinese, like someone grew up there, I knew all their tricks very well.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is of course shown in various ways, with the Canadian family, right? I mean, I'm not going to give away some of the plot twists, but let's talk about Unrestricted War. Okay, of course, in this instance, I think the Unrestricted War is using the virus as a weapon, in effect, right? Again, whatever the origin was, to basically, affect the West in a very negative way, right? And, which is actually what happened in reality. I mean, the whole, the whole economy was closed down ultimately, right? And certainly that decision on the CCP side played a role in that, whatever the total decision making was. Tell me a little bit more about other realms of this unrestricted war.
Nowadays, to be honest, I just feel it's everywhere, because we are so closely connected to China in so many ways. I'll give you a funny example, like all the international students, right? I came to Canada as an international student, and my producer too, Sophia, and she was sent to Canada as a student study, right? And she actually was recruited. They tried to recruit her to be a spy before she leaves the country, right? That really happens to her. And she said, of course, she said no. She refused. But even for the normal student that you decided to go to a different country, and then you were approached by a Chinese spy agency to, for this kind of task. I'm just giving you an example like this to show that to them, it's really, there's no boundaries. Like, they do anything necessary to get what they want. Like right now, we have so many Chinese like internet influencers, even platforms, and like they're filled with their ideology and propaganda. Even it's really everywhere, including the fentanyl. What happened on the streets,
right?
And the so-called collaboration with the Western companies. allow them to do all kinds of like commercial espionage, and even many influence are made on the foreign politicians. Right. So this, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Well, and in Canada, there's pretty strong evidence that a number of elected parliament members were elected in significant part with CCP money.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I heard that on the news. Yeah.
So what has been the response of the film? You've screened it now in a number of places. I just watched it when you screened it in Congress here in Washington, D.C. What has been the reaction of the audiences?
Oh, the reaction from the audience is actually incredibly good. I'm very happy about it. I think the audience really get the message behind the film. And we tried a few festivals, but we get a response that they are a little concerned about the topic, because some of the very big festivals, usually they are like very connected to China. A lot of filmmakers, Chinese filmmakers, came every year. So they're concerned that because this happened to them before, if they accept our film, the Chinese government will ask the rest of the Chinese filmmakers to leave the festival. So they will suffer a loss. So we experienced this like in Taiwan film festival before the Golden Horse. Yeah, because it's like they said the same thing. Like if we accept you, that means we lose all other Chinese film. Yeah, because they are all like the government will just force them to withdraw. Yeah.
It's very interesting. It reminds me, there's a really powerful book called The Collaboration. It was written about how Hollywood worked with the Nazi regime in the 1930s to make sure, I believe in the middle of the 1930s, there was not a single film made critical of Nazi Germany, even though these extreme anti-Semitic policies were already kind of being put in place. Not just anti-Semitic, there were all sorts of red flags, but Hollywood basically didn't notice, even though there were filmmakers who wanted to make those films. Right? We also know that. There's an eerie parallel here.
That's just happens it's normal for culture market, right? Sometimes, like, even including the Holocaust. In the beginning, when the Nazi regime still there, before they were defeated, it's like no one believed it. Same thing. It reminds me about the organ harvesting too. I don't know if you're probably familiar with the topic. When we first heard about it, it was just like that was 2003, 2004, very early, but all of this gradually. I mean the culture products are picking that up. I hope that will make a difference, because it is important, because this is what opened people's mind. So they want to do something about it, right? Because some news is too shocking. It's just maybe, the general public will react to it very slowly. That's why, I mean, like, it's actually a great responsibility for all the filmmakers and the writers to focus on an issue like this, because it can shape opinion for the public, right? So they can start thinking about this.
And here's the thing, right? I mean, in the 30s, it wasn't really clear that there would be this, mass killing of Jews that happened during World War II. It was clear there were these extreme anti-Semitic policies and the language of, kind of genocide language and things like that. And so you're talking about this kind of denying how easy it is for us to deny. Part of it is human nature, I think. Part of it is we don't want to know about some of the darkest things. We don't want to believe that they're happening. I've encountered that. I've discussed this again on this program in the past. And on the other hand, there's also this aspect where you have to make a sacrifice. You have to make a personal sacrifice, financial or otherwise, prestige maybe, in order to publicly accept, that a government is doing something terrible and say yes, right? So I guess my question is, like, why have you chosen to make this sacrifice?
Like I guess I feel the responsibility, like because most of the Chinese makers, there's so many brilliant Chinese filmmakers, they don't have the freedom to do it, and I'm here. At least I can say something. And for the Western filmmakers, for most of them, it's also very difficult for them to do research and like access information, find information behind the subjects. It is almost impossible. So for me, I guess I feel I have to do it. I'm still lucky because I'm in here. At least I'm safe. Thinking about other people that, like the whistleblowers for the pandemic, right? And think about the human rights lawyers in China and all the Falun Gong practitioners in China. They paid a much higher price for, speaking the truth or just have a different voice. Yeah, it's tough, but sometimes, you have to do the right thing, I guess. Just like the whistleblower in the film, right? If you don't do it, it's going to be always like this. Yeah.
There's something, something really beautiful about what you just said. So where can people watch the film?
It will be released on Beijing World Plus. We will release the film on all the major platforms, including Apple TV and Amazon Prime, and YouTube movies. Yeah, so we can find the film on all the VOD platforms.
Well, Jan, this film is profound, incredible. I'm going to encourage everybody that's watching to watch it. We're going to finish up now, but I'm going to roll the trailer right after we finish, so I encourage our audience to stay and check out the trailer at the end. And congratulations on an absolutely incredible film. It's been such a pleasure to have had you on.
Thank you so much.
Wipe her from her database and burn the body. Keep this contained, or you will join her in the furnace.
How'd you even get these numbers?
That's a state secret. I'll be charged with espionage.
Then you better consider a way not to get caught, or you will lose everything of value here in China.
They both exhibit high temperature, severe headaches, and I'm most concerned that it might be quite contagious.
Why waste a good pandemic, right, General?
You have a serious viral outbreak that can threaten the whole world.
You mean fake news?
We'll never be able to come back to China.
Right now, our safety is what matters most, nothing else.
Mama!
You saw the chaos in the hospital, right? If the party has a plan, it needs to be better.
You think you know better than the party leaders?
I need to be with my family.
They will remain there to complete your mission.
I will not commit a crime against humanity.
The war never ended for us. So to double-cross me, Dr. Conrad, is something I cannot allow.
Thank you all for joining Jan, Ma, and me on this episode of American Thought Leaders. I'm your host, Jan Jekielek.